You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
It's Friday night, and this is Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the variety show. I am literally cracking up because when you think about variety, we have a guest that you never would have expected. We were supposed to have Lorry Rifkin join us, but something happened. So we have another guest. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm a certified life and career coach. And my co-host is Lori Mendelsohn. She is joining us today, and she actually has with her our guest. Our guest's name is Zinc. But before we introduce Zinc, Lori, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and the work that you're doing to make this world a better place?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. So, hello, everyone. I am a professional matchmaker and a dating coach, and I help people find the love within themselves so they can get ready to actually date and find the love of someone else. So I do that in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, and it is my great pleasure to help people find happiness. And on a side note, Dr. Jacalyn, our guest, until our guest actually arrives, prior to my being a matchmaker, I built a very large dog walking and pet sitting company called Wisconsin Pet Care. And I have always been an animal advocate as well as an animal rescuer. So our guest tonight actually is a rescue, and we're going to get to meet him in just a couple of minutes.
I can't wait. This is so much fun. I love spending this time with you. And it's the variety show, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Who's going to visit?
We certainly don't.
So before we meet Zinc, why don't you tell us a little bit about smartfunnysingle.com?
Sure. So Smart Funny Single is my website, and my business is really helping people prepare to get out of their own way. So the way that I do it is I work with my clients, finding out what it is, what their barriers and blocks are, and then working through those, and then coaching them how to date, how to attract love, how to manifest it, and all that good stuff. And right now, Dr. Jacalyn, I'm living proof of my own working methods. It is just, they're just coming in like a gale force wind. So that's really what I'd love to do is help people find that. Yeah.
I think you're living proof that when you put it out to the universe, it will come to you. And then what are you going to do with it? So all of your devices are beeping and ringing, and it's like men coming to you from every aspect, every angle. And, let's also talk about the work you're doing over on Clubhouse. For those who aren't familiar, Clubhouse is the new social media platform that's audio only. And we are not paid spokespersons, but we are hoping we will be at some point.
We should be.
Tell us about your room on Sundays over in Clubhouse.
Yeah. So my room is called, my club is called Single Over 50. And my room at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Jacalyn, let me just check one sec, because that's our guest.
Yeah, he's in the studio. He's backstage.
Whoa, sorry. He's going to be here in about 1 minute.
Okay, perfect.
And I don't know. Hold on one sec, Dr. Jacalyn. I'm sorry.
What was normal?
So we are.
So,
okay.
Yes. So the Clubhouse room that I have is called Single Over 50, and it's an inside job. And this week we have gathered a panel of experts on sex, which I'm calling the Sexperts. And we're going to be talking about sex over 50, how it's changed for us, what's happened to our bodies. We actually have a physiologist who's going to be on the panel to talk about what really happens to your body, not just in your head. So we're going to have a sex psychologist, a sex coach, a sex physiologist, and a couple other wonderful therapists and psychiatrists to talk about the whole encompassing idea of sex over 50. So you won't want to miss it. If you like sex, you better tune in.
Will there be any sex?
Jacalyn, there may be people who are listening can do whatever they want, during the show. I personally won't be having sex, and I don't know what the sexperts are going to be doing, but
enter the clubhouse room, and you have a clubhouse club. You went way past room. You went right into the club. So good for you.
Yes, it's single over 50. And Dr. Jacalyn, you do too. I mean, we were just talking off stage about you and your groovy tunes. And I keep getting these pings, to enter your room. And I'm like, ooh, Jacalyn is going on with those groovy jams there.
And my room is on Sunday at 8 o'clock, Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, A Better You. And we're just going to share stories about what we're doing each day to be better, and then make a commitment to do something for the next day. So last week, I committed to doing 100 push-ups on my toes each day. Da-da, da-da-da. There you go. So,
wow, I don't even think I could do one.
Well, you have to start with one. Start with one on your toes and go to your toes. So Lori is trying to get connected, but let us not wait any longer.
Oh, no.
Before we show our special guest, why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Okay. So are you talking about Zinc, or are you talking about Lori Rifkin?
I want to hear about Zinc right now.
Okay. So the man that I'm going to introduce lives with me. He is a perfect gentleman. He is what every woman wants and needs. He is kind. He is respectful. He is loving. He is fantastic. He is a 9-year-old rescued standard poodle. He used to be a breeding dog, and he was also a show dog in his earlier years. And sadly, he came into rescue because his mother passed away from cancer. So the minute that he walked in, I was doing a foster with him, and he became a foster failure. So I'm going to show you Zinc right now. So here we go. We're introducing Zinc.
Camera, there you are. Zinc, how are you? Welcome to the show, Zinc.
Zinky.
Great.
There we are. Okay. Oh. There he goes.
There it is.
His worldwide introduction. He's had enough of this fame and fortune.
He's very well groomed.
He just got groomed. And Dr. Jacalyn, before Lori comes in, I just want to say that, people stop me all the time and say, oh my God, what a gorgeous dog. I say, thank you. I rescued him. So people have no idea that you can get wonderful dogs like Zinc, any breed, any kind of dog that you are looking for through rescue, through breed specific organization. So if you're thinking about getting a dog, do not hesitate to adopt. You're saving a life when you do. So
that is for sure. Lori, on an earlier show, we had pet psychic Amina, and we also had Sean Imler. He's an intuitive. And we were talking about the fact that during this pandemic, the number of adoptions of pets has gone way up. But people are also reaching out to someone like Amina or Sean, saying that, now that I'm going back into the world, I have to go back to work, to an office. I'm going to be socializing. Now they don't want the pets.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about too. So there are, my old company, Wisconsin Pet Care, was a dog walking and pet sitting company. So people can work around that challenge. They could have a friend, a neighbor, hire a professional, or even take them to doggy daycare a few times a week. But I'm going to beg people not to do that, because the shelters will be overwhelmed, overcrowded. And these dogs have already made a home in your home. So please do not do that. You wouldn't do that with your children. I mean, you may want to, but you don't give your dog up. That's your companion. He relies on you. So
yes, exactly. It's a living, breathing animal that needs to be taken care of and has feelings, by the way. That's what I learned from talking with the pet psychic, is that the animals communicate, and they don't want to be mistreated. If you took the time to get a dog, then, or a cat or a lizard, I don't care what it is, please take care of it.
Yes, exactly. And don't give it up. Figure out a way. You know,
Yes.
if there's a will, there's a way. That dog has bonded with you. That cat has bonded with you. Just don't. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, Zink is back. Hold on. Well, there he is.
Hi, Zink.
Hi, Zink.
Oh, Zink, you know you want to be on this show. So Rory is actually backstage. I think he's in some type of vehicle. And I love it because it's a variety show, right? Anything can happen.
So Dr. Jacalyn, I just actually lost you too. So just give me a minute to get, I think that I'm still on. Boy, this is some day, isn't it?
Yeah, you're still on.
Okay, I just don't see you. So I'm going to.
It's better that way. You don't need to see me.
Oh, there I am. Okay.
Guess what? We are going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to bring Lori on and get this party started. And Zink, you are more than welcome to chime in at any point. So don't go anywhere, Zink. All right, we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
The world of healthcare is benefiting us in many ways, but the risk of becoming a victim to an airborne infection is increasing at a fast pace too. There are threats from viruses, allergic pollen, and chemicals which cause you loss of health, income, business, mental health, family and friends. All are at stake. One solution to this threat are the BV Air Sanitation Placide-based systems. When you call our team on 0208 104 3253, you find out about the amazing protection available. Protection that uses certified Battlefield, tested, standard and customized air disinfection systems for your personal and business use. Each system uses a filterless technology known as Placide, which attacks all airborne particles with microlighting to destroy and eliminate viruses and other harmful particles in your office, transport and home. You also benefit from extra bonuses such as low running and maintenance costs, no regular filter and part changes. You get to work with our trained experts and professional staff and be made aware of the latest in airborne protection and disinfection strategy. Keep yourself healthy by working with our trained experts and Placide virus killing systems, which keep you safe from airborne viruses. BV Air Sanitation Limited. We save lives, save businesses, and prevent infection. Schedule your free consultancy call and virus protection checklist. Call 0208 104 3253 or connect to us on www.bvbuster.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jacalyn. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. And here to tell us more is the creator of A Better You, Al Cini. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. It's always a pleasure working with you and everyone out there. You know, you might be a coach working with individuals professionally or personally, or you might be a consultant working with businesses, or you might be a trusted advisor specializing in an area like finance, let's say, or the law or healthcare. Whatever of those roles you relate to, you all have one thing in common, and that is you're working every day to help people become better versions of themselves, a better you. And Dr. Jacalyn's A Better You program is an opportunity for you to express your expertise in a particular area for 15 minutes in front of an audience of people who are looking for help from people like you.
Yep.
So, Dr. Jacalyn, maybe you can tell everybody how they can learn more about this.
It's so easy. You go to abetteryou.tv and you sign up to book your session.
I don't think men are superficial idiots, that their brains are wired to be visual. You're told I give great advice.
Nike Just Do It for exercise, I think really applies to sex too.
I've coached hundreds of men and women.
So I disagree with her where she's like, put it all out there on the first date. You know, an open book is not sexy.
Exactly.
You know.
Do you have relationship questions? Chances are one of my clients or myself or my friends have gone through the same thing, and I already made a video about it. So I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, Donna Barnes. I've made hundreds of advice videos based on real-life experiences so that you can make better choices.
In my upcoming Breakup Recovery Action Plan, there's going to be checklists and quizzes.
Best information that I've ever experienced or acquired. If you're stuck and can't move forward or let go, my action plan is built to help you. Subscribe to my channel. I'll help you have better relationships.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Well, aren't we just having a great time here, by the way? And a comment from somebody on Twitch TV loving the show. Thank you so much for watching. It's Reggie Meister. Is that how you say it? Zinc?
Reggie, Zinc, do you want to comment on what Reggie said? Reggie, thank you. Thank you. What do you think about all this?
Zinc, you are a natural. With us today from somewhere on the road, Lorry Rifkin. Welcome, Lorry.
How you doing there today? Oh my God. What a day today, huh?
We are having so much fun. Welcome to the Variety Show. Where are you in? You don't have to give us the exact location because we don't want people coming to hunt you in the car, but where are you approximately?
I'm in downtown Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Okay. How are things out on the road?
It's beautiful today. It's one of those spring days where it's 41 degrees and you don't need a jacket. Tomorrow will be 42 and you'll be freezing outside.
That's amazing. We were wondering while you're out there on the road if you can give us a traffic report as to what's going on in the local highways for Friday night.
Actually, traffic is up from a couple months ago. We are coming out of COVID. I can tell by the number of cars on the road.
Zinc, what do you have to say about that?
Zing doesn't need to know the traffic report. He just wants to know when his snacks are coming again.
Got it. Lori, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, that's always a fun thing. I'm a chameleon. I am a CPA who was an introvert for a large portion of my life until I decided I had 3 women mentors, in fact, who said if I wanted to go place, I had to come out of my shell. And I didn't want to do it. So essentially they kicked me out of my shell, forced me to start going out there. And little by little, I learned all types of tricks on networking and meeting people. And I act as an extrovert, like a actor in a play when I'm out, but I'm still a core introvert inside. I run a couple of businesses. I help fix broken companies. I have a bookkeeping business, and I launched a new business during COVID. That's one thing about COVID, it forces you to change. I have a network training company and I host my own events called Lunch of Lorry. And I call it upside down networking. You can't say what you do for a living. You can't say what you want. You have to answer 10 personal questions to get into an event. And I call on everyone to explain their answers. And you get unbelievable answers and you start to build relationships with people. Because I call it supercharged networking. Build relationships first and business will follow.
Tell us again about the process. So you send out a questionnaire?
Yes, and they ask questions like, what prank do you want to pull on your family? What's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you in your life? What's something somebody doesn't know about you? And the answers I get are amazing. I'm probably told stuff that spouses don't know. And I get amazing people. I had a young lady on yesterday. She gave up her son for adoption at 17. She told the story. A private investigator said, I'll volunteer to find your son, and located her son and reunited him. That's the type of story I get in a Lunch of Lori event.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to sign up. I know you had suggested that. I'm going to sign up. I'm just waiting to see when my calendar is going to open, but that's really interesting.
Yeah. Jacalyn, it would be great exposure for you too.
Yes, and I'm going to get exposure in that sex room tomorrow, apparently. So,
yeah,
but there's a caveat: lunch is not provided, so you have to bring your own lunch.
Well, it was going to be lunch because my first event, I had a Cinco de Mayo in-person event. I had 35 people signed up. I had to give all the money back to because of COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason, though, right? I don't know what that
does.
reason was, but yeah. So, Lori, I thought it was interesting something you said, because I feel the same thing pertains to me and maybe to you, Lori. By the way, Lori and Lori gets confusing.
It is confusing.
Is that you appear to be an extrovert, and you are an extrovert right now, but you're actually an introvert, and that's the same that I am. How about you, Lori, with an I?
I'm pretty much your typical extrovert. Although I do get worn down when I am around a lot of people for a long period of time. So I need to decompress after networking events or conferences and that kind of thing. I usually bow out of any evening activities at a conference because I need to sleep. So, yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Lori? Are you running 24/7? You're a night owl?
No, I don't run 24/7. I run hard. I work 70 to 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. Now I'm doing 2 startups, but I'm going to go back to the introvert extrovert. Here's my definition. If 2 people go, an introvert and extrovert, go to a network event with 300 people, you only could tell who's an introvert or extrovert when they get home. An introvert has to recharge their batteries when they get home. So I come home, sit in a reclining chair, turn off the lights, turn off sound, and recharge. My wife is an extrovert. She comes home from the same event, has to call 30 girlfriends to say, this is what they wore, this is what I met. So if you met me at a party, you would say I'm an expert extrovert when I'm a core introvert.
I can resonate with that. That resonates with me. That's exactly how I am. Like after a week of doing shows, I just want my downtime. When I go to a cocktail party or when I was in the meetings and events business, I would walk around like this. Hello, how are you doing? How's you? And then I feel like I just want to go to my room by myself,
Yeah. So. Hey, Lori, I'd like to know how you got the idea for this, and tell us about your first events, how they went, and how you built up your following.
Well, it started, I would take people out to lunch and breakfast, and they'll do the standard. Here's what I do. Tell me what you do. And it became boring. So as an experiment, I started asking personal questions, and people started to answer them. I didn't think they would answer them. And then I said, could I publish a LinkedIn post about your life story? People started saying yes. And then I turned into formal interviews, and COVID comes along. And right before COVID, I was to have the in-person event, just to have a mingling event. But when COVID came, I had to switch 100% to online. I decided to do something different. I'm a disruptor. Having an event where you have to answer personal questions to come in is unheard of in the business community. And I also required everyone to connect with each other on LinkedIn. That was the business part. And I was afraid no one was going to show for the first one, and it filled up in the end. And now I got a 2-month waiting list.
Oh, I love that. That's so encouraging, because anytime we start something, it's you think, oh my gosh, no one's going to show up, and maybe just 1 or 2 people show up, but you have to keep putting yourself out there, letting people know about your branding and your business and what you offer, right, Lori? And Lori?
That's right. Well, you can just call me Zinc during this interview, okay? And that way there won't be any confusion. But, Dr. Jacalyn, I'm thinking how that relates to Clubhouse. The first Clubhouse room, 3 people showed up, and it was good because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know how to do it or, why to do it. And it was good that I didn't have that epic failure with 100 people in the room. So you just have to keep going. And just exactly like you said, you just keep putting it out there and build. And one day it explodes. So that's what's happening for our friend Lori here.
Yeah, I want to say I've had almost 275 people come to lunch with Lori, and you can't, I don't want 100 people in an event, because the other thing I do is I call in every single person to explain their answer. And sometimes the whole room is crying, and sometimes the whole room is laughing. So it isn't having a ton of people to an event. It's having a quality event that builds over time.
Yeah.
Lori, thank you for sharing that. So for people who are just starting out having events, or they're thinking about having events, what are some tips or tricks, some skills that you could recommend for people before they go ahead and launch something like what you're doing?
I have 2 things. 1, be a disruptor. People are so sick and tired of the standard Zoom events. They want something different. So be a disruptor. I do it different. The second thing I've learned is key: give homework before the event. People will just show up to show up. That doesn't add value to an event. They have to have skin in the game. And sometimes it isn't money to pay for an event. I require people to answer questions and to give me thought. If you sign up for a lunch with Lori and you don't put down good answers, I kick back the registration and say, come on, you could do better than that.
Go to your room. You can do better than that. Right?
You're not allowed in my room until you get those answers.
Okay, so I'll give you the third thing. Make your event a little hard to go. It's like the Seinfeld, the soup Nazi. Not everyone gets super weights in line. Scarcity is the third factor I would ask. I'm sold out for 2 months in advance. Having something that's scarce gives perceived value.
That is a good one. I love that. I know our business show that we have is booked until August. So, and this show we just started, and we're doing really well with this. So thank you, Lori. They're really good tips.
Yeah, I'd like to add, if I could, Dr. Jacalyn, and that is what I've learned about networking is when you are at a networking event, think of giving first. Think of how you can help that person rather than what's in it for me. Get to know how you can solve their problem. And if you can't solve their problem, who you can connect them with who can help solve that problem. And they're going to remember you as the person who helped them.
We've got a winner with zinc over there. Lori, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I do. Everyone talks about a pitch, right? I mean, you got to have a pitch. I have a thing I developed myself. It's called the networking persona. It's your pitch. It's exactly what Lori said. It's what your give is. And the third component is what your differentiator is. Because if you combine a killer pitch and you give instead of asking and taking, and you also are different, people are going to remember you.
That is for sure. Now, I want to ask both of you this question because this is something that I deal with on a regular basis. I have people reaching out to me all the time for things. Can you do this for me? And so you do it, right? You keep giving and giving and giving, and then you realize that you're not sleeping at night. You have a headache. You can't get things done. So how do you guys decide to set boundaries? I'll start with Zinc.
Dr. Jacalyn, it gets easier as you get older. And you realize that you do need to recharge, and you realize that you need to take care of yourself first. So the way that I just started was by saying no. When I felt that I was overwhelmed and just had too much on my plate and there was no room for me, and I felt like the water was rising up here and pretty soon I need a straw to be able to breathe, I started saying no. I'd love to help you. I can help you in a week or so, but I can't do it right now. How will that work out for you? So that you just have to jump in and say no.
I like that. How about you, Lori?
I'll add something else. Sometimes saying no is too harsh. I'm a pretty direct person, so it's easy for me to say no, but I'll see how bad they want it. I get email requests to meet and talk. I won't respond sometimes to somebody who's so, but if they send me a second and third request, I know they really want to meet me, and then I'll meet them. So I let the person say no instead of me saying no.
Oh, that's interesting. How about that? Yeah, if I had glasses, I'd be
very interesting.
Very interesting, darling. I like it. Lori, you share with us that you've started a business during COVID. You've all these other things going. For people out there who are thinking about starting a business, they don't know the first step to take. I always like to ask business owners this, right? Because there are a lot of people out there who are looking for guidance, and we want to deliver content to help people. What would you suggest when you're starting a business right now? Somebody wants to start a business next week. What recommendations would you have for them?
I have to say, being an accountant and I fix broken businesses for a living, don't always put a lot of money in the front. Test your concept. Lunch of Lori, my only expenses were lunches and paying for a logo. And I built a brand that I have people come from all over the world. You don't need a ton of money to start. You need passion, a disruptor idea, and the drive to put it into implementation. If it works after 6 months, then put money in. Like I am building an online course to teach people how to network now. Now, but that wasn't the first thing I did to spend money. First, I tested free versions of the Lunch of Lori, tested how I could apply what I teach people in networking. And now I'm going to spend the money. So don't think because you have no money, you can't start. Test your idea cheap first, and then the money will come at the end of it. That's why I also teach build relationships first, and the business comes on the back. As Americans, we're too impatient as a society. We want everything in the front. That's not how it works in the business world.
Great advice, Lori. At what point should a new entrepreneur consider hiring a CPA, an attorney, a bookkeeping service? At what point does that happen?
I think you hire them up front, but you don't use that much of them. You hire them to say, hey, I'm developing this concept. I don't need full services. I need occasionally to bounce an idea by you. And so the bouncing idea stage where you don't spend a lot of money again, that helps. I don't need to set up a corporation if the idea isn't going to work. I don't need a bookkeeper if the idea isn't going to play out in practice. So test, use experts sparingly in the beginning. And once you have proof of concept, start spending the money on services.
So now we've got the business concept. We're testing it out to see how it goes. It's growing. It's not exactly where we want it to be. We're not able to pay all of our bills with it. I'm a huge advocate of Shark Tank. I watch the show all the time with my mom. At what point do you say to yourself, maybe this isn't a viable business? Maybe this is a hobby. When do you know you should close everything up, or when do you know you just need to take that extra step and it's going to happen for you?
Sometimes you feel it. I've had businesses in my life that failed and I knew it was unrecoverable. I'm turning around businesses for a living. Sometimes it's just the odds are so against you that to make it even successful is going to wear you down personally. And even if the money comes because you turn it around, you're so miserable it isn't worth it. You got to add happiness is a quadrant to your business life. I love doing Lunch of Lori, so I will do that until it's no longer fun. I'm not going to let it bleed all my money. So I say, if I go Lunch of Lori, I'm willing to lose X dollars, but above that, I'm going to fold it. You have to set your boundary when you start, because if you set it when you're going, you're always going to push it off.
Wait. So do you set it by a timeline or by the amount of money that you want to?
I do both, because if I want a business, the maximum I lose is $50,000. I don't want to take 10 years of effort of $5,000 for 10 years. It's both. You really got to have a timeline and you got to have a monetary thing, but you got to be reasonable. Lunch of Lori, I know I won't make money with that for 3 to 5 years. That's how long it's going to take. But if you buy a business today and paying a premium to a buyer, it takes 3 to 6 years to pay off a business you buy. So that's not unrealistic today to take 3 to 5 years to build a profitable business.
Let's say someone, sorry, Lori, let's back off 1 second. Let's say someone has a corporate job and they want to become an entrepreneur. What are your thoughts about starting the business as sort of like a side gig, a side hustle while they're getting the paycheck?
That's the best way to do things. You're in a position of power then. You still got a regular paycheck and you could experiment. But a lot of those corporate people, where they have a hard time is they're used to having support services. When you start your own business, there is no support network. It really is a support network of yourself. And that's the hard part. I'm just at a point where I have interns helping me. But up to now, I had to do everything myself, because that's what it is starting a business. You're alone to start unless you have a ton of money to start hiring people from day one.
And you know what? I have another question, but I'm going to defer to Zink because she wants to jump in. Go ahead, Zink.
No, Jacalyn, please go ahead. Please keep asking
Okay.
Lori. No, he's throwing out some good nuggets here.
Yes, really good information. So the question I have is, I started a new business. I left corporate, and I'm working with a number of coaches, and the coaches all have different perspectives. They have great ideas. So what are your thoughts about hiring a coach initially, or maybe bartering for services, a business coach, a media coach? There's all different types of coaches. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm going to get yelled at for this answer, but I'm going to say it. I don't 100% believe in coaches. I believe in mentors. I mentor a couple of people in inner city Milwaukee who are starting up businesses. And here's the difference between a mentor and a coach. A woman giving childbirth, a man could coach her, but a man cannot mentor her during childbirth because mentoring requires living in the shoes of the person you're helping. So if you're starting a business, I want a mentor who started a business who could give me all the emotional quadrant, which you can't 100% get with coaching. So I'm a believer if you're starting a business and mentoring, and I don't say that without practicing it. That's why I mentored 2 inner city people on starting up a business. I've been in their shoes and starting up a business. I understand having no money in a checking account. I understand being alone. That's different than coaching.
And thanks for that perspective. So I can see the value in having a mentor one way and then having a coach if the coach has that experience in the same area that you're.
Yeah, and they're willing to share the emotional part. Once you get going, coaches are great for a lot of skill sets. Coaches are great to hold you accountable. But the real difference in mentoring is the emotional part of actually living in their shoes. That's a different thing. And that's why there is a difference between mentor and coaches. And if you want to know the reality of it, for every 100 coaches, you might find only one person that's a true mentor. Mentorship's a whole nother level more valuable, but it's exceedingly hard to find. In reality, I find who I'm going to mentor. They don't find me. It's a more elite club.
That's fascinating. Wow.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Lori. I think the mentorship is phenomenal, but I find that most people do need coaches because we don't know what we don't know, right? And someone who is a coach who has built and sold a business knows from the ground up how to establish a business, what financial documents are necessary, what tax forms are necessary, how to work with an accountant, how to work with a bookkeeper, how to work with an attorney, how to build a strong financial plan and a financial future. There's so much research that goes into starting a business before you even start. You have to do your demographic search, your psychographic search, see who your competition is, see what makes you unique and different. Then you go into business after that. But it is hard to find a mentor who will have the time unless you go to someone like SCORE, just funded by the SBA, which is phenomenal. So,
yes. Lori,
add value, mentors and coaches.
Absolutely, and I guess it's a personal preference on how you like to work, the way in which you like to work. But I think there are 2 really valid points. We have some kind of noise going on. I don't know what it is.
I know I'm not typing though, so I don't know what it is.
I don't either, but
it's not sync because no one's around here. So
it's weird. Okay, no worries. So Lori, back to you. I think you're giving really good advice and direction based on your own experience. When you help companies you help companies after they've been broken, you rebuild them. Is that what did I get that right?
Correct. When I walk into a company that's hurting, there's 3 choices: fix it, close it, or sell it. Those are the only 3 options. Because many times I walk in, there's only 2 to 4 weeks cash left.
2 to 4 weeks cash left?
Yeah, that's all there is.
Wow. So the business owner or owners, they're in a situation where they're needing help. This is a problem.
Unfortunately, 90% of the time they are the problem.
So I feel like you're kind of like that guy, I forget his name, on The Prophet, where he goes into businesses and he makes a determination whether or not he wants to work with them.
It's a little less because he's putting money into them. I don't put money into my deals. I'm just the fix-it guy, and when it's fixed, I'm gone.
Right. But you are making an investment in terms of your time and selecting which companies you want to work with.
Correct. And I also bring those companies to my network. So if I'm fixing a company, I'm going to try to find them business in my network, find them vendors in my network, and find them employees in my network.
And Lori, what have you found in terms of when people's businesses are failing? Is this typically it's the first business? The first business they have, or is it repetitive?
It usually is a business where it's the owner's passion, but he doesn't have the business skills to run it. That's where a lot of that happens. A great idea. It's a great concept. People want to buy it, and people come to them, but then they mismanage the money part, or they don't hire everyone like them as employees. And so the business falters, not because of lack of demand, because of a lack of what I call internal infrastructure.
I love that. I have so many questions. I could just keep you on here forever.
Well, you know what? Have me on the second show. Ask Lori, because here's something interesting. Lori and I both tried a Lunch with Lori dating game version, and we failed. So you asked about failure before, and Lori, tell why we failed. That would be a good thing of how we failed the first time, but we're trying again.
And tell me about what it was. What was that? You had a show, or what were you doing?
No, we were doing Lunch with Lori, the dating game version, so to speak. And what we did was we asked an equal amount of men and an equal amount of women to participate. And we actually charged for this event. We had 7 women who signed up, but we had 0 men, which leads me to believe, number one, men don't want to be vulnerable and put themselves in a situation where they have to open up. Number 2, women do want to discuss it, and women want to find a solution. And number 3, maybe that wasn't the venue to do it. Maybe it was because we were charging. We really didn't know, but we're going to try it again. And this time we're not having a specific age. We're having over 40 up to whatever age, and we're doing it for free. So there's no charge to come in. So we're hoping that this time we're going to get maybe not equal amounts of men and women. We'll always get more women because more women want to talk about relationships and dating and that kind of thing. Men hold it close. They talk to their buddies about it. So that's what we're going to be doing again. We're doing it next month, our first one.
That's fantastic. I love the concept. I want to tee this up to both of you. So I've been taking this business course, and the woman who runs it, she was on Wall Street, and she's built this huge yoga meditation business worldwide. Anyway, she has experts on every week who come and talk about what it is they're doing. And each person talks about how to price out your products and services. And to go in free gives the impression that it doesn't have value. So she said, and every week, by the way, each person was saying the same thing. One of the people, her name is Dory Clark, she talked about how she put together workshops during the pandemic, $2,000 a person, 50 people, and she ran 4 of them.
Wow.
Okay. So what she basically said was that maybe you start off with whatever your pricing is. It's not free. And maybe you get 1 person. That's okay. Maybe you get 2 people the next time, but not to go in for free, because you can never go up. Start it high so there's perceived value, and then drop it down if you have to. Right. Lori, what do you think about it?
Well, remember I said, I have a requirement. You have to answer questions and connect with other people. It's not free. You have to put your time in, and you have to be vulnerable. So I agree, it shouldn't be free. There's 2 ways to not make it free: to charge a monetary amount, or to charge a person to have stake in the game. The questions I ask make you vulnerable. So you have stake in the game. You have to have some stake in the game, either money or emotions. Also doesn't work. So I agree with you, but it doesn't always have to be money.
That is a great point. I have to applaud that. That is a great point. Emotional investment is key. Monetary or emotional.
And Lori, my partner, I gotta say one thing. Men are vulnerable in answering the Lunch of Lori questions. I'm not sure it's vulnerability. I just don't think men like to talk about dating because they have the bravo. I don't have a trouble getting a date. I think it's a macho thing. It's not a vulnerability thing, because the answers I get from men in Lunch with Lori really make people vulnerable. And I get CEOs, bankers, and lawyers, high-powered people answer those questions, but they're not in the context of getting a date. So I think it's the dating component that makes them more scared to say, I need help getting a date.
Exactly. And that's when with my male clients, I just keep applauding them for even wanting to do this and work on it, because I know how hard it is for them, because men have such a high value on their sexuality and their ability to connect with a woman. And if they're not doing that, they don't feel that they have accomplished what they should be doing. So yeah, I think you're right about that, Lori. I wonder what that typing noise is. And
I don't know, but you muted me before.
I don't know what it is. But guess what? We actually missed the second commercial break, and the show's supposed to be over. I'm going to take us to commercial break, and we'll stay on until the top of the hour, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right. We'll be right back. Stay with us here on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the Variety Show. We've got Lori, Zink, and Lori. So we've got it all going on over here.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
Stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
What a show we have here today. We've got it all. We've got zinc, we've got Lori, we've got business advice, we've got networking, we've got your cleavage now.
It's that kind of week, Dr. Jacalyn.
I haven't even had any wine yet.
Wait, Jacalyn, I'd like to give a definition of networking because the term is thrown out there, and I have a different definition than many people. And actually, Lori, my dating partner, it applies to dating. Networking is sales of the most important product in the world. That's yourself. So when you're dating, you're networking because you're selling yourself to somebody. And it is sales. So we could say some people don't like sales. They don't understand every time you go out and talk to somebody, that's a form of networking because you're talking about yourself. You're there in presence and you're selling yourself either consciously or unconsciously.
Thank you for that clarification. That's important.
I don't agree, but we all just keep going.
Let's hear from you, Zink.
Well, Lori, I appreciate what you're saying. However, when you're comfortable with yourself and you know who you are and you like who you are, you're not selling yourself. You're showing up who you are. You're presenting yourself. You like you. It doesn't matter if someone else does or not. You're fine with you. So if they want to walk that path with you, great. If they don't, that's okay too.
I feel like I'm on point counterpoint. I love it. It's like, all right, back to you, Lori.
I would say, and hearing that, I agree. But the answer is probably in the middle because unless you don't want anything from anyone else, if you don't want anything from anyone else, I'm going to agree 100% of your definition.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you want something from someone else, you're selling yourself to some degree, whether subconsciously or consciously.
Lori, Zink?
Yeah, we all sell ourselves in a way, but hopefully you're going to attract the person who loves you for who you are and vice versa. You're going to accept them, they're going to accept you, and there's no sales involved.
No, wait, I'm totally confused. Are we talking about dating or are we talking about business?
I'm talking about everything. When I say sales, you're taking it as an active sale.
Yeah.
Conscious, because I teach networking is building relationships, but that's selling by giving to people. It's
right.
Maybe call it reverse selling because you're right. It is giving.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in networking or a relationship, you want to give to the other person. My definition of sales is giving to get. So if you do it that way, Lori, I think the answer is in the middle.
That I agree with. I thought that we were talking about dating there for a minute.
Well,
because you said, Lori, my dating partner. And
well,
now I'm getting into dating.
When I was dating my wife, I was always giving her things, giving her love, giving her time, giving her gifts. And it is sales in the end because I wanted her to be attracted to me. And it is selling. I'm selling my virtues to her. And subconscious is I don't explicitly say I'm going to be the best husband, but my giving shows that I am selling me for her to want to date me and marry me.
Zink?
This could be a whole other show, Dr. It could be point counterpoint.
Well, Lori, I think you might be in that car for a few more hours. I'm going to pop open some wine and get my mom some pizza.
I wanted to have my wine on my deck tonight. No, it didn't happen.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. We could have a regular show just doing this.
And we could do it on Lori's patio during the summer, popping wine, right?
Oh,
me grilling. Zink could be,
Yes, I like the different viewpoints, by the way, too. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great. So, Lori, back to you. Your experience, you've had obviously a ton of experience in the business world. What failures have you had to accept and learn from and move on from?
I don't like sharing the story. I'm gonna share it because people look at me and say, well, you're the old white guy and you have everything. I was at one point in my life so destitute that I lived in Chicago. I drove in the forest preserves there and went through garbage cans, pulling out aluminum cans with my wife and 2 infants in the car. I had nothing. I only could wear sweatpants because I gotten so fat from being depressed. So I had a lot. I lost it and had to start all from zero. And I told my wife after that last garbage can I went through, said, I'm never doing this again. I don't care if we have 1 penny more tomorrow. I'm clawing my way back. And since then, I've been in that journey of clawing my way back.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is amazing, isn't it? I'm going to keep you there for a second because I have another question for you.
Yeah.
So when you were going through what you were going through, mentally, you must have been close to being broken.
I was, but I have a high PMP index. Do you know what a PMP index is?
Let's see, PMP. Not that I can say on the show. No.
I know it's not. No, I'm going to tell you, it's not dirty. It's perseverance and persistence. I've always had a high PMP index, and that's what got me through it. Yes, I've quit. I have failed, but I've never stopped trying to claw my way back, even in the darkest moments. I mean, that was a dark moment, and I said to myself, I have to do better in this. It could be only a tiny bit, but I have to do better. That was humiliating. I'm not proud of it. And I didn't do it alone. I did it with my wife and kids in the car. That's pretty damn low.
Wow. Thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that, because, people need to hear that. How do you feel after you just shared that with our audience?
It's embarrassing, but remember I said I'm a mentor. How can I help a business person struggling? This is, again, just between a mentor and a coach. That business person says to me, you don't know what it's like not having any money. I say, no. I tell them that story. It changes the whole relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really is different. I understand what it's like to have nothing. Now, I've clawed my way back, and people look, you're pretty well to do today. Yes. But I had money young. I lost it in business, went down to zero, and then clawed my way back. It's worse when you start out with something and lose it than when you never have it at all.
Wow.
Lori, I had no idea. Thank you for telling us that story.
I'm not proud of it. It's embarrassing. And this is on a live show, but the thing is, it happens to all of us. We have down points. My wife almost died twice, so I've been through the death emotional thing. Sometimes God and life hands us things we don't want to deal with, and you have to fight your way back. My wife should be dead medically, and I believe because of prayer and believing in a higher force, she's alive today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for that. And,
yeah.
And by the way, you are in a safe space. Lori already knows this, but I share all the time. I have ulcerative colitis. There's sometimes I'm running to the bathroom 40 or 50 times a day, and I'm not making it, and I'm not proud of that. But that's just part of the way it is, So it's good to share what your experiences are, because other people then can feel like, you know what, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a disease. I'm not a loser. I'm not a failure. I'm just a person going through experiences in life. And if he did it, and she did it, and she did it, and Zinc did it, I can do it.
And one thing,
yeah.
You mind if I add one quick thing?
Sure.
The mention of my wife almost dying was a million times worse than having no money. In America, if you have no money, there are some basic support. You might not starve to death. You might not. You won't have much. But when you're knocking at death's door, that's a finale. That is it. There is no comeback from death.
No, that's true. That's true. You've definitely been through a lot, and I feel really grateful that Zinc/Lori connected us, because thank you, Zinc. Oh, Zinc.
Look.
Yes.
Oh, Zinc,
you're on live TV, Zinc. Yes. It's so beautiful. No, but seriously, I think that the three of us were brought together for a reason. I feel like the three of us are going to do something together. I don't know what it is yet, but tell me about this new program that you're putting together. Where can people find it? About the dating, the connection? How can people get involved?
Can I jump in and answer that, Lori?
Yes, I'm waiting for you.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to be posting it on LinkedIn. So if you follow either one of us, I'm Lori Mendelsohn. It's LORIMENDELSOHN on LinkedIn. And Lori is LORRYRIFKIN. So if you connect with either one of us, you'll be able to see it in your feed. It'll pop up in your feed. And it will be, I believe it's the 19th of April at 11:30. And it is Lunch with Lori and Lori. And it's a single mingle that we're going to be doing. So thank you, Jacalyn, for letting us promote that.
Absolutely. I'm all about promoting whatever it is that my guests have. Lori Rifkin, you have been an incredible guest, my new friend. And I was streaming your banner. Tell our folks watching and listening, where can we find you and what are the services and value that you bring to our audience?
I would say the best general services, because most people want to meet other people, whether it's to get a job, get business, get vendors, get friends, find a love, is at www.lunchwithlori.com, all one word. Connect with me on LinkedIn too, but that's probably the best place to find me. And the easiest for most people, some people aren't on LinkedIn, is my Lunch with Lori website. It's brand new. I'm in a debugging phase. So if you don't like something, let me know. That's where I'll have my networking boot camps and my networking training course available for purchase in the future.
Outstanding. I hope you will come back and visit us, be our guest again, and also be a guest on the business show. We are booked out till August, but you would be a phenomenal addition.
Get me on later. Maybe we should do a Lunch with Lori live.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Oh, it'd be very, I don't think people would expose themselves because you are very vulnerable in that experience.
One thing I have to share is that this platform, StreamYard, it only enables 10 people in the stream at the same time.
You can make 10 people work. If you get 10 quality people who are willing to be vulnerable, it would be an interesting show.
So for those of you out there who are listening, who are vulnerable, who want to meet someone, you should go to Lori Mendelsohn or Lori Rifkin's LinkedIn. Yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And send them a request to connect with them. Maybe send them a message that you were listening on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. And you'll get a special set of, what is it this week? Is it the Ginsu knives or what are we giving away this week?
No. Yeah, we just got a new shipment of the Lee press-on nails. And speaking of nails, wait, Dr. Jacalyn, wait, there's more. Lori Rifkin gets even more interesting. Lori, why don't you tell our guests about the color nail polish on your...
Okay, wait, no. I went on a family vacation to Jackson, Wyoming 2 weeks ago, and we got a family pedicure. But I'm really cheap. I'm an accountant. I'm cheap. So I said, they showed my daughter, my wife, the color chart. I go, why aren't you showing me? I go, I want 165. It's camel green. And I have green toenails now.
It's show and tell, Lori. Come on.
I'm in my car. Lori,
take that shoe off, buddy. Let's see what you got going on there.
Oh, I had all the pedicure and I go, you're discriminating because I'm a man. You won't paint my nails. And it was kind of funny. My nails are painted now.
How do you feel about that?
I thought it was a great experience. One thing I would recommend, go as a family and get a pedicure as a family. That was a very interesting, fun 2 hours.
So if we don't have a family, we have to go to rentafamily.com, I think.
Yeah. Or if you're a man, get your nails painted. It is quite the experience. You know, I would see those charges on my credit card. I've been married 36 years. I see those charges come through. And I wanted to experience one myself.
Well, we're glad that you did and that you shared it on this show. See what happens when people come into this environment. Everything just comes down. It's complete transparency. I love it.
Vulnerability comes into play. I mean, here we are not talking about Lee press on nails, but Lori Rifkin's toe color, which is green. Amazing.
What shade of green is it? Is it the sea green? Is it emerald green? Is it?
It's actually, I called it camel green. I'm a man. It's camel green.
Wait, CAMEL, camel?
No, camo. Like camo.
Like camo.
Perfect color for veterans too. If any veterans are listening, be proud. Be proud of your service. Thank you for your service. Go get your toenails painted camo green.
The point is, as COVID has got us all down as society and stuff, do something different. Do something fun. The nail polish should be off in 6 months? But that experience will live on forever in my family's mind of my kids watching their dad get a pedicure. Be different. Be special. Have fun.
And by the way, who is doing pedicures that are lasting 6 months? Do we want to give them?
Yeah, I want to know too.
How long does it take? When nail polish go away?
Oh, my friend, you are in for a rude awakening. It starts with It's all over the place.
Oh, and I spent all that money for only 6 weeks?
Oh,
I don't think 6
oh,
weeks.
Lori, we're going to have to, Dr. Jacalyn, we're going to have to do a show teaching men about all these girl things.
I think that'd be a great show. And you pick a man from the audience to try each of the girl things.
I think that's a great idea. And I like this idea of doing a live show, Lunch with Lori and Lori, and live streaming it right here.
It'd be interesting. But again, you got to find the people who will not be embarrassed, because when you ask some of these personal questions, some people get embarrassed by them.
Well, clearly you're not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. By the way, Lori/Zink, do you have any transparent share that you want so that we're all on the same level today?
Not at this time, Dr. Jacalyn.
All right.
Usually I'm very transparent and very vulnerable, but right now I'm kind of thinking I need to cut back on my vulnerability a little bit.
I got it. I appreciate that. Lori, we are going to say goodbye to you right now, but I am excited about where we're going with this. And now that I have met you in person, I've got that visual of the camo green toenail polish. I am going to paint my toenails green. What do you think of that?
I'm going to send you a picture so it'll be burned in your mind forever.
I live for that. I hope I have some wine first before that happens.
I have my fighters in when the picture was taken.
Oh, this is great.
We could stay here all night. We could.
Okay. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. We'll have you back on the show again. I'll send you the link to sign up for the business show and to come back here.
Thank you very much. It was a blast. I had a great time. You made my evening.
Shabbat shalom, Lori.
Bye, Lori.
Bye-bye.
Another fabulous guest.
This is just crazy.
Congratulations to you, and thank you to Zink for stepping in. I mean, not
one last cameo. There he is.
Zink, where can people reach you? Oh my gosh, I have so much fun on this show. It's amazing. So,
thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. I so love starting the weekend with you. Thank you.
I know. You're my date. And now you're busy. You're going to be so busy with all these men that you've attracted to your life. Yeah. Zink. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Moving on. So how about the best way for people to reach you?
So the best way is through my website, smartfunnysingle.com, where I work with you on dating, coaching, and matchmaking. And also, if you are free on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, please come into the Single Over 50 room, where we're going to be talking about singles over 50. It's an inside job. And again, this weekend, this Sunday, we have the sexperts on the panel. So you don't want to miss 1 minute of this exciting event.
Tell us what type of topics might be discussed in the Clubhouse Club.
Well, we have a sexual psychologist who will be joining us. We have a sexual psychiatrist. We have a physiologist whose expertise is on sex. That's just this week. But most weeks we have a panel of therapists, healers, psychiatrists, and psychotherapists talking about working out your issues, getting yourself right, doing the inside job so you can become a better person and then in turn can find love. So that's what we talk about. And we bring a lot of people up on stage. We want to hear what the listeners, what the audience is wanting to hear, and share your stories, and everyone is welcome. You don't have to be 50. You can be, it's really aimed at mature people, but even 40-year-olds plus are welcome.
Or maybe it's 40-year-olds who have skin problems because of getting older, right?
or other ailments.
Other ailments, doesn't matter. Who do we have next week on the show?
I don't know, Dr. Jacalyn. I'm not privy to the list.
That's right. I'm the keeper of the list. Let me take a quick peek and see and do a little promotion for next week. By the way, what is next Friday? It's the 26th. And why is that important? March 26th is my birthday.
Hold on, everyone.
It's my birthday.
A special birthday. Dr. Jacalyn's birthday is coming up.
Guess what we're going to do?
We're going to be wearing party hats, eating cake.
We're going to have wine. You'll have a glass of wine and I'll have a glass of wine.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I can't find who our guest is, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be someone great.
Zink.
Zink, it's a pleasure having you on the show. I think Zink should be a regular.
Well, Dr. Jacalyn, Zink, you know how you always see me moving? Like one hand, you kind of see this action going?
Yeah, I don't know what's going. Okay, I don't know. I was wondering what you're doing over there.
It's because Zink is right there. Zink is always right next to me. So he's comforting me. So
I wish we could see your other family member because you've got another beautiful partner over there.
Well, she's sleeping. Maybe next week I can get her up and you can see both family members.
All right. I look forward to that.
For your birthday, special birthday surprise.
That's right. Special birthday. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Please make sure you ping me into the room.
I will. I will ping you, Dr. Jacalyn. Thank you.
All right. Try to come to my room. Oh, so I was going to say, try to come to my room on Sunday at 8:00 Eastern time if you can.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Any final words, my friend?
Have a wonderful weekend to you and everyone listening. It's going to be a great one.
All right. Thanks, Lori. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh, 3 shows today that were just so much fun. This last one just pushed it over the edge. I want to thank everyone for watching and listening. A few announcements. I do have a book that I am launching very soon. I'm waiting for my book cover to be finished. I'm waiting for my editor to be finished editing. And the book is called Behind the Green Screen: How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. The other thing is we have our platform, A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. My business partner, Alcini, came up with this idea, and we have taken it to another level. We actually have 3 opportunities under A Better You, and you can find out about all of this on drjacalyn.com. The first opportunity is for you, the coach, consultant, or trusted advisor, to present a 15-minute lesson. You will come onto our platform. We will be live streaming the lesson, and we will have a timer. We will also have a panel of people who will interact with you after your presentation, and then you'll do the same after they do their presentation. If you're happy with the presentation that you did, then we will do a custom intro and outro, and we will ask you to put together a 5-question quiz that we will then package with your clip and put onto our second opportunity, which is A Better You University. We have partnered with a company called Edgagement. They've been up and running for years. They have bite-sized mobile learning so that on your phone, you can take a 15-minute lesson, take a quiz, play a game, and then you can get a certificate. And we are also rolling out Dr. Jacalyn's reward and recognition program. So you, the content creator, you, the public who's purchasing these lessons, you can earn points that you can use for our third opportunity under A Better You. Our advisory board is meeting, and we are planning a 10,000 person in-person event. It's called Journey to A Better You. It is a cruise, and we will have coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, their clients, human resource experts, as well as companies and businesses that supply products and services to all of these. So if you're out there and you want to get involved, come and join us. Go to abetteryou.tv. ABETTERYOU.tv. Sign up, $250. You get to present 3 lessons. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, we have the business show, the dating show, stories of hope and inspiration overcoming adversity, the variety show, and I have a story to tell. Go to drjacalyn.com, book your session. Also, if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, we run sponsorships, $250 to $3,000, depending if you want to sponsor one or all of our shows. So that's all I have for you folks for today. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate your support as our business is booming, and it's all because of you out there listening and watching. And even when you're not watching live, I know you're watching after the fact. Take care of yourself. God bless you. We'll see you again on Wednesday.
My stomach issues make me want to stay home, but that's not an option. No matter how prepared I am, I still feel nervous. Enough is enough.
If this sounds familiar, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can offer you support and connect you with a specialist.
Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help at spillyourguts.org today.
Networking sucks and people suck at it, but nothing gives me more life than walking around and talking to people in an audience and really being able to identify, okay, I see where you're having trouble, let's work on fixing it. How do you help them? How do you provide value? My goal is to give them those tools to be able to go out and tackle that fear. Anywhere there's coffee is where I'll be. So I bring candy a lot to my speaking engagements. Like, of course that makes sense. I'm a little unconventional.
Ashley was very knowledgeable.
Very entertaining.
I learned a few new things, and to me that's the key.
What do you want them to say? How do you want to be perceived? You're going to get the most direct, tactical tips and practical takeaways when it comes to networking. These two here are super important. You'll remember once the conversation starts.
I love the tips that she gave out. I hate networking with a passion, so I feel like I can go to a meeting or event and not feel so uncomfortable.
When you're going to a presentation, you want to be educated. You also want to be entertained.
She was really fun and really personable, and everything she was saying was just very relatable.
She's got a lot of great ideas.
That will make you stand out so fast.
She comes across as someone that likes what they do and just doesn't try to sell you something.
Activity breeds results. If you're not doing anything, you're not going anywhere.
Just made me want to start networking, which I never thought I'd say before.
A networking strategy that works for you.